Hello, hello.
This one's on.
Hi, hi. Ha 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 ha.
Mine works. What do you guys think?
Hi everyone. Thanks for spending part of your Sunday with us. Thank you. I will tell you ahead of time, it's our pleasure. Yeah, we can share.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi, hi. Nice to meet you. Hello. Yes, we can share. Right? We can share.
Right?
We're adults.
No, mine.
We have a telepathic news system here at Otakuthon. We think it, and the
yeah.
IT guy shows up.
Awesome.
Yeah, you were like,
I think the most important microphone is for our MC. Bear with.
Does everyone know the Jeopardy song? Na, 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 na. Awesome. All of you do it until we figure this out. It's a good way to pass the time. Don't be shy. Dun, 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 dun. Key change. Dun, 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 dun. You know this. You don't need it.
dance, puppets, dance!
Oh, why are none of these multiple choice or true false? I don't like these.
One over here, for sure. And you guys both have? I guess I can one.
Hello, hello. Thanks. Awesome. Aww. You should have this one because my voice carries farther. Sorry.
This is a great chance to see the back side of things. This is our warm-up, our sound test. This is the way the business really is. A lot of hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah? So, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
A lot of blaming the microphone. That's not my voice, that's the microphone. Why are you so smacky? Because I had an apple. Do I have to look at all these questions or just the ones with my name on them?
I'm gonna ask you like the questions that are really open to like everybody's.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good. How many, show of hands, how many people are from Montreal? Wow! Okay, so how many people are not from Montreal? Seriously?
Hello. Wait, some of you raised your hands twice.
They live on the outskirts between here and Nova.
We just said
Outskirts.
We love it. Every time someone says sorry or out, we're like, we're in Canada.
Okay, I think we're live.
Yes.
You want to take us away here?
Alright, so welcome everybody to the All-Star Voice Actors, North American Voice Actors. Today we have Ms. Veronica Taylor. Round of applause. Stop. I'm the moderator. Mr. J. Michael Tatum. Mr. David Vincent. And Monica Rial. So I'm going to start with a couple questions, and at the end of the session we're going to have some questions from the audience. So, first question goes to Monica Rial. Hi! So, first question. So you don't really see a lot of like ads for voice acting. How did you get your first job, and was it awesome?
Well, back in the old 19 1990s. I'll preface that with late 1990s. Thank you very much. I was doing a lot of theater in Houston. I was doing Shakespeare in the Park. I was doing musicals. I was talking like this because nobody wants to hear this on stage. And a friend of mine named Jason Douglas. Do you guys know who Jason Douglas is? Yeah. He played Il Palazzo in Excel Saga. He's Krieg in Borderlands 2, the Psycho. He does amazing things. He's on your TV all the time. He's in movies. He had just gotten a job at ADV Films in Houston. He's like, you need to audition. I'm like, well, that's crazy. They do that here? I thought that was just in LA. He's like, no, it's right here in Houston. So I went and auditioned, and it was kind of just fate, I guess. I called, and they were just happening to have auditions that weekend, which never happens. I auditioned. It fell into my lap. I thought it'd be a fun gig while I went to college, and lo and behold, it's my career. That's why I get frustrated sometimes with myself, because when you guys ask, how do I become a voice actor? I'm like, I don't know. Because I did it back before voice acting was cool. Nobody liked us. They're like, oh gosh. I mean, not that everybody does now. Whatever cares. But you know what I mean? Like back then, nobody really cared, so it was a lot easier to get a foot in the door. But I will say, I'm very lucky, and I'm sure the others agree. It's just so much fun. It is a great career. We have to work really hard, but it's totally worth it. And especially when we get to come and see you guys and hang out, and you tell us about your favorite character, your favorite moment. It really just, it makes me want to cry. It's so sweet. I love that. Oh. Shouldn't happen to a 37-year-old woman. So yeah, it's awesome. Woo!
What about you, David? Can I call you David?
No, it's Mr. Vincent to you. No, I'm just kidding. How did I get my start? How did I get my start in anime? I actually was doing stand-up and sketch comedy in New York City. And I was doing a sketch, and I was making fun of TV commercials. So I was doing 1,000 different voices. And I had a gal come up to me after one of my shows, and she goes, very funny. I said, well, thank you. And she goes, here's my card. You need to call me. And it turns out she was actually a voiceover agent. And so she got me my first audition, which was for a Rolling Rock beer commercial, radio spot, and I booked the gig. But first voiceover audition, I booked it. I know, which is unheard of. Absolutely unheard of, because booking ratios in voiceovers is like 100 to 1. But more specifically, how I got involved in anime. You guys all know who Steve Bloom is? Yes. Spike Spiegel? Never heard of this guy. And Steve and I have the same agent, and one day I was in auditioning for a radio spot with him, and Steve looks over at me and he goes, hey, Dave. Yeah, what's up, Steve? You ever do any anime? No, never done any anime. You should do anime. Oh, cool, thanks, Steve. So he gave me a guy's card to call, and I called and kind of bluffed my way through my first session, and that's actually how I got my foray into the world of anime.
I love that impression.
Your first gig. Listen to you. My story is kind of weird, and I'm kind of like with Monica on this one when people ask me how I was tricked. I was totally tricked into it. So when people ask me, like, how do you become a voice actor? I'm like, oh, waste your life for about 25 years and wait for someone to force you to do it. Not a good path to follow, really. I was an actor when I was very young. I kind of grew up in and around the stage, so I loved it. But when the time came for me to choose a career path, I decided to turn my back on acting because it takes a very courageous person to try to pursue it as a career, and I am not a very courageous person. So I had all other career for almost 10 years. And hadn't done any acting, stage or otherwise, in all that time when Christopher Bevins, a director and writer and actor for Funimation, who was a good friend of mine, we were fellow comic book nerds together, so we were like, you know, Batman versus Superman, who wins? And we'd get into these horrible knockdown, drag-out fights over it. And I would win because he's tiny.
But anyway, so he called me out of the blue. I've known him for a couple of years, and I knew what he did. I thought it was really cool because I grew up watching anime and loving it. And I was like, oh, you get to work in anime, that's really cool. But I never had any concept of working in the industry at all. I just didn't realize it was a thing I could do. And Bevins apparently heard something in my voice that I did not, and one afternoon called me out of the blue and said, hey, I'm working on this show called Samurai 7, and I'm trying to cast the part of Rikichi. And I'm like, haha. He's like, would you like to come in and audition? I'm like, oh my god, no. I was terrified. I had no mic technique, all my experience was stage. And he was like, oh, okay. So I said, thank you, but no thank you. You're very sweet, but I can't. So that was that. Next day he calls again. So I'm auditioning for this show called Samurai 7, and I need someone to play Rikichi. I'm like, did we just had this conversation yesterday? He's like, yes, we did. And this went on for 2 weeks of me begging off of the audition in the lamest ways. I would be like, oh, I can't come in. I have to strain cabbage. I have a flat. And this went on for 2 weeks, and Bevins is a really nice, very sweet, very laid-back man until you tell him no. And no, the more he hears it, the scarier and scarier he gets. So whereas we had begun with, hey, I'm working on this show, it'd be cool if you came into audition, in 2 weeks becomes, you're coming in if I have to kill you. So, and he made up some complete lie about, look, you're not going to get the part, I just need some warm bodies in the booth to get some new people in because the producer's riding my butt to get new people in, so you're not going to win it, you'll suck, we'll laugh, and we'll never speak of it again. Just do your friend a solid and come in and stop being a wuss. So, under protest and with, buckled knees, I walked in and we did this 4-hour-long audition, which from my stage background, I'm like, 4 hours? You have like 2 minutes before the shepherd hook comes out and off you go, and you never hear from these people again. So, right, exactly. So I'm sitting there going, oh, but we're looking at the animation and we're studying dub scripts, which I've never read before. They're a very different animal than like a playbook or something. If you've never, worked in the industry before, and so it's really voice acting boot camp, and I'm hating every moment of this because I'm like, I suck. Why am I here? And after 4 hours, he finally says, all right, out of the booth, monkey, come sign your papers and go the hell away, and I never want to see you again. So I'm like, okay, good. Sweating bullets, so glad it's over. I'm signing what I think are non-disclosure agreements, which I didn't look at very closely, my first mistake. And I made some glib comment about, like, how do you people get anything done if it takes you 4 hours long to audition every single person? And he's like, funny thing about that, it only took about 10 minutes. We've actually just recorded the first 6 episodes, and you just signed a contract, so you're an actor now. And they haven't unchanged me since, so.
I suppose my story can't top that at all. I always wanted to be an actor, and I did anything I could acting-wise when I was growing up. I took acting classes, I did improv, I did dance, I played soccer, I did whatever. I did normal things too, editor of the yearbook. And then I went to college for acting, I went to grad school for acting, I toured, I did a lot of Shakespeare as well. I love theater, and I did some TV, and just stuff. I'm an actor, I like to act. And one day I went to my acting coach, I was prepping for some audition, and it just happened that he got a call from someone else that he coached, and they needed younger girl voices. So I went to an audition based on that recommendation, and I got cast. And from that, I got recommended for another audition and another audition. And I was in Slayers, and then because I was working on that show, I got the audition for Pokemon, and other things. I worked at 4Kids, so I got a chance to audition for other shows they did. And most of the work I've ever done has been related because of people recommending me to other things. I have an agent who puts me out for commercial auditions and things like that as well. But a lot of the animated work that I do is because people say, oh, you should bring her in. So that's basically it. That's my short version.
What's your favorite